Friends, I'm Jimmy LaRose, and I am here today with America's volunteer, Charlotte Berry. She's loved and celebrated around the United States. Matter of fact, you can learn more about her at charlotteberry.org. That's charlotteberry.org. Of course, our listeners, our viewers, our nonprofit executives, our ministry leaders, we're all facing this moment right now that is uncommon. And in Charlotte Berry, we have a graceful volunteer, an aggressive fundraiser. And, I was just wondering and thought maybe we should hear from a real donor, a real volunteer, what it's like to be operating in this new era of COVID-19. Now, Charlotte, let me ask you a short question. Is it probable that you have not been using virtual technology the way you're seeming to use it now? Is this new?
It's very different, but very exciting. I've learned a lot about it. I've had many calls on Zoom, on team meetings, and it's been wonderful education in many ways. And I think, although it's different, I can say it's somewhat different. I think it's going to help us until we get out of this current virus problem.
Well, I'm just glad to hear you say that. Having done face-to-face and special event fundraising all these years, let's kind of move to that next question. Charlotte, you've been participating in Tiffany Circle meetings and United Way meetings and Columbia College meetings. Mm-hmm. Have you found have you been able to recruit new volunteers or new board members or even raise gifts since COVID using this technology? Go ahead.
Well, thank you for asking, because it's been a very exciting time. Actually, it has been possible to raise more money, in a sense, and more volunteers, because people now are looking for something to do. Many of them have been very frustrated over being isolated, which most of us have been at certain times. But then when we get out, we are delighted to have a cause that we can call our own, that we can become attached to. So I've been very, very pleased with the fact that many people have called wanting to be either mentored or wanting to learn more about how we could collaborate in this community. So the collaboration, I would say, has been even better since the virus came about.
Wow. There's two sides to this equation. You're talking about more people wanting to be involved. How have the nonprofits that you serve and volunteer with, how have they been feeling emotionally about COVID and their future and their security? Any thoughts?
That's a very good question. What I am finding is that many nonprofits really want to get out and not only, as I mentioned earlier, collaborate, but get to utilize the skills of many people they haven't known before. So I've talked to a lot of people who really are looking and searching for a way to give back. And by serving on a board or serving as a not-for-profit volunteer, they have felt much different about the world we're living in. So it's been a growth experience, many.
Yes, there is this universal now effect on all our lives. And I think that what you're saying is you are finding that volunteers and new board members and new donors are even more sympathetic.
Correct. They have learned a lot about those who do not have what they have and are not fortunate enough to be able to live in the way that some of these people who've lost jobs, who are having children at home, they haven't understood totally how to work on that. But with the opportunity to serve the community, they can also teach their children the needs and the opportunities that are out there as people grow and develop. So it's been a developmental process.
Charlotte, you have always been fearless. You have always said fundraising is just that. It's fun. You love to ask, and you know that people love to give. And I think you're affirming here for that nonprofit. You know that some nonprofit executives are saying, we can't fundraise right now. Donors won't give. And that's just not been my experience or yours, has it?
Well, what has happened, there have been new causes to give to. Again, at times, there have been so many that people have said, how can we give to everything? And we all understand we're asked for a lot by different organizations. But some of the things that have turned people on, if you want to use that expression, have been things that really aid those people who are suffering through this very disastrous time. So I have been really excited to see the needs out there and the fact that there are people who are willing to participate and give, maybe more than we ever dreamed.
Oh, well, and friends, remember, this is coming from Charlotte Berry, a donor, a philanthropist, a board member, a volunteer. She is in the field. This is the way donors think. Please don't project onto donors your own thoughts. Find out what they're thinking. And that's what we're doing right now. Charlotte, I know this is kind of I'm not sure how to put this. The future, well, Dr. Fauci said today that the COVID-19 virus will never be eradicated, and that we may be finding ourselves in a different landscape moving forward. I think that we're all making adjustments. I certainly know that you didn't have a virtual camera in your home until about April of this year.
Yeah.
But we have to believe that we just have to have hope for the future, that it's not going to be raining all day, every day for the rest of our lives. Do you have any thoughts about the future of the nonprofit sector, charity, and our communities as we continue to learn and navigate this new time?
I think it's a growth experience for all of us. And I, for one, who had never used all the various communication channels as I should have learned so much. So in a sense, I would say for me, it's been an opportunity to become better educated and to learn how to do things differently. Maybe not all people will agree with me, but I do think that we continually learn in life. And if we make that our motto and really don't give up, but keep trying to do things differently, sometimes we find they work much better. I don't say that in person is not missed. Most of us miss people. We miss facing somebody that we know and expressing an opinion. But I think we're learning as these meetings go on that we have to speak up. We cannot sit there quietly. We must express our opinion. So I think I've seen a change as they have continued to hold the virtual meetings. So I think it's a learning experience for all of us. A good one.
Charlotte, I've got some good news. You and I and Christy go to the same special events in our community. I don't know what it would be like to go every 2 or 3 weeks without Charlotte, Jimmy, and Christy enjoying a fundraising event. I'm pleased to let you know that even this fall coming up, it is likely that many people will be uncomfortable going to a huge gala or going to an ask event. And I'm pleased to share with you that here in Columbia, we have been able to organize virtual evenings where a person can bring their own cocktail, and 300 or 400 people can join us. And we'll spend an hour with a special speaker and an amazing organization with a great mission, and more like a telethon. If you remember the old telethon, the opportunities to give will be presented 5 or 6 times during the hour, and there'll be a tally. So we're doing our best to pivot and help nonprofits not have to lose those revenues.
It's a great opportunity, and I have noted many of our nonprofits are doing that kind of virtual party, if you want to call it a party.
Good.
It's different, but it does work, and sometimes you get new people attending some of those that had not attended other larger gatherings in the past. So there's an opportunity for everyone. I guess I have to admit, I hope we go back to seeing people in person because I happen to like that. But really, for the time being, I think it gives us, as I said earlier, a good education about how to do things differently, and we must make the best of it and continue.
Charlotte, I'm going to close by asking you to share what you always share about what you feel like your responsibility has been over your many years growing up young with a great mom and dad who taught you to serve others and to get involved and get out of themselves. Why don't you just close us out with your message of volunteering and fundraising?
Thank you so much, Jimmy, for that opportunity. It gives me a lot of pleasure when I think back on my childhood and the opportunity I had as a very young person to start thinking of projects to make money for organizations in Memphis, Tennessee, where maybe we would make only with a 10-year-old doing a show $13, but at least that went to a cause that was very important in Memphis, Tennessee, the milk fund. A lot of children then did not have milk. Long story short, though, I think when you have parents, it makes such a difference. And if those of you out there who are parents, let me tell you, it does change your life if you've had parents who show you the way, by showing you the way to give back to others, because that's what life is all about. Literally, I don't know what I would have done without the volunteer opportunities I've had. It has made such a difference in my life and keeps me going from one day to the next. So I would urge all of you to share your time, talents, and treasure.
Well, Charlotte, again, I just think that people don't necessarily appreciate and understand how donors, how volunteers, how board members who are generous think. And you are so gracious to share with our audience what's important to you, getting out of yourself into the needs of other people. Charlotte Berry is a great need meter. Thank you so much, dear.
Thank you for letting me have this opportunity, Jimmy. I really appreciate it.